We start with Congressman Ruben Gallego, a four-term Democrat from Phoenix, joining us from the nation's capital. Welcome back to Square Off, sir.
Thanks for having me, Bram.
It has been almost 3 weeks since the riots at the Capitol. You're a Marine combat veteran, but you told me that night you were shaken by that attack. How has it changed the way you look at your job, the way you look at Congress?
Well, look, I'm proud to be a member of Congress. I'm happy that I was able to help out my colleagues that day. But honestly, one of the hardest things is to talk to some of my colleagues that were part of the problem, the people that spread this big lie that there was this massive voter fraud and caused essentially these men and women to come down to the Capitol and invade the Capitol and try to topple government. It's very difficult for me to look at them in the same way, and it's going to take a while for I think a lot of us to get over that.
So talk about that, because we heard President Biden calling on Americans, all of us, to start afresh, listen to one another. Is that even realistic in the House, given what you just said?
Look, I think it's realistic, but we have to do the first step. And the first step, we have to stop lying, stop the lying. We can't continue moving forward and have this fake unity for the sake of saying we have unity when 1/3 of the Republicans believe that the election was stolen and continue to feed the lies that it was stolen. It's ridiculous. It's dangerous. And it actually ends, it really deteriorates our understanding and respect for democracy.
What about within the Arizona delegation? The 4 Republicans voted to overturn the election results in either Arizona and Pennsylvania, in one case just Pennsylvania. I don't know what relationships were like before this. Is there even the possibility of a relationship now?
Look, I'll be honest, it's been very difficult to even look at my Arizona colleagues across the aisle since this happened. I actually have a very working relationship with the Republicans from Arizona, but since they participated in this and actually participated in a very hardcore manner, it has been very difficult. And I'm not the only person saying that. I think there's a lot of people in Congress that are going to find it very difficult to work with some of these members, and even to move any kind of legislative agenda. I think that's going to be on hold for a little bit.
That'll be on hold. So 2 in particular, Congressman Paul Gosar and Andy Biggs, have been singled out as being as being organizers or helping to organize the rally before that preceded the riots. Should there be action taken against them?
Look, I think there should be action taken against them if there's anything found that they did was either illegal or unbecoming of a member of Congress. I think this is why we need to have an investigation of them. The main organizer, the fraudster Ali Alexander, said that he planned this with Biggs and Gosar. Both Biggs and Gosar reject that. But at this point, have a he said we need to investigate and see where this goes. Supposedly, they and ask for a pardon from the president. Why would you need a pardon for the president? You're kind of showing your cards that you may have thought you did something illegal. So I hope it's not true. I'm still disappointed in the fact that they pushed this lie. Very smart men that know better. Particularly Biggs has been talking about this audit that he saw, and then now nobody can track it down. And I think that's really sad that he perpetuated this lie that created this drama at the Capitol.
So how widespread is this feeling that you have among your Democratic colleagues in the House?
It's very widespread. And in particular, it's very widespread to those 2 members of Congress, to be honest. I think there's other members that they're going to be given some grace. People will get over it. But I think particularly those are really have hurt their relationship with other members of Congress. And maybe they don't care about that because maybe they don't care about passing legislation. But I got to be honest, I know I hear it. I talk to people about it. It's affected their status here.
So what does this all mean when it comes to actually passing legislation that will help Arizonans? The House Democrats have a smaller margin than they had in the last Congress. You might need some Republicans to work with you to get things done. What does this feeling toward the other side, maybe, what kind of impact will that have on getting things done?
That we know don't believe that don't believe this lie that there was a total massive fraud that didn't, encourage or incite the insurrection. There's plenty of Republicans. There's plenty of ways to do it. I passed two last year, that went through the Senate, and were signed by Donald Trump. It's possible to do that. You could work in a bipartisan manner. It takes a lot of work, but you have to have a base of understanding that the other person you're working with also believes in democracy and doesn't believe in the overthrow of doesn't believe in the overthrow of government. And I think people like Biggs, Gosar, Brooks are going to have problems, and maybe they don't care about passing legislation and getting things done, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. But they understand where a lot of us are coming from and reject these myths that they started.
Let's turn to President Joe Biden. He has a huge, important agenda, a lot of serious problems to deal with. What advice would you give him about where to focus right now?
First focus has to be the COVID, both dealing with the actual pandemic and then also dealing with the economic fallout of the pandemic. And we just need to go big and bold when it comes to dealing with with the pandemic. We need to do overproduction, in my opinion, of vaccinations. And we need to vaccinate people as fast as possible. I don't think the categories really make any sense. As soon as we get one vaccine, just vaccinate whoever wants to get vaccinated right away. That would get faster herd immunity. Even if you even get one vaccine in, you're still getting some level of protection. And I think that's important. Number two, we need to go big and bold when it comes to the stimulus. We need to make sure that we're getting as much money as possible in American people's hands, so that way they can spend that money to recirculate in the economy and really give a good kicker to the economy. We need to make sure we prop up our businesses that are really teetering on the end, and then we need to figure out how to fix what happened during this pandemic. There's a lot of people that have their credit ratings are shot. They're not going to be able to have businesses. They're not going to be able to get apartments. They're not going to be able to buy houses. So we need to figure out some system to make sure that people are going to be able to restart their lives. But we can't do that dealing in small numbers and thinking about small numbers. You're going to have the return to fiscal austerity that Republicans forgot during the Trump era, and that would be the biggest mistake. Right now, with interest rates as low as they are, we should be borrowing as much as we can to get this economy going. Because a sluggish economy will end up causing more deficits than a strong, stimulus-driven economy that will end up saving us more in terms of long-term deficits.
Okay, and last question, and I'll ask you to answer in 30 seconds if you can. The president also has an ambitious immigration bill before Congress, a path to citizenship for 11 million undocumented immigrants. Does that even have a hope of passage, or should he settle for helping the dreamers out first?
Look, I think we need to focus on passing the legislation we can pass, and I think out of the House you can pass it, and the Senate is going to be a problem. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean we shouldn't try. The Dreamers is a start. That's not the end of it. The fact is, this country survived the pandemic because of undocumented people. This whole time that many of us got to shelter at home was undocumented people that were still pulling our food out of the fields. They were processing our meat. They were stocking our shelves. They were cleaning the hallways. You know what? We should make sure we find a way for them to actually become permanent residents and hopefully eventually citizens.
All right. Congressman Ruben Gallego, thank you so much for joining us.